Boy, that'd be a tough question. There have been so many wonderful people that, like you said, that I've come in contact with during my tenure in the vocal band. Obviously, Bill has had a big impact. He and I were close and had a lot of time together just by virtue of what we do, you know. I'd say another one that had impact on me was Jake Hess. I didn't know Jake prior to becoming a member of the group and traveling singing. I knew who the Imperials were, and I was younger than Jake, obviously, and my remembrance of the Imperials was Russ Taff and those guys. But Jake was one of those quiet, steady, consistent lovers. He was a lover. He and George Yance, really sweet, transparent people.
So what you saw is what you got with Jake.
Yeah, it really was. And I gravitate to that kind of person. You know, I think it's, you know, why try to pull the wool over someone's eyes? Because at the end of the day, you're the only one that doesn't see it.
There you go.
You know.
Plus, Jake had great hair.
Jake, he bought his hair.
He bought his hair.
We used to kid him. He'd get on the bus when we'd be done with the concert. He'd run to the back of his bus and pull that wig off in a hurry and put on a captain's hat. That's what he wore all the time.
What are you going to do? Surely it's going to happen. Maybe it's happened already. When you know, someone in Nashville says, "Hey, Guy, I'd like to record a secular album with you." Not that we should make distinctions between secular and sacred, because music is music, and the Lord is the source of creativity.
That's right.
I guess the question I'm getting at is, what's the track you're on? Do you see yourself as continuing to do gospel-orientated country and western, or do you see yourself also as perhaps doing some secular music?
You know what? There's no telling what kind of record I'll come out with next. I am a broad person when it comes to music. I like many styles. I'm kind of weird too as far as my Christianity, I guess. I think that oftentimes we're the culprits as Christians for making separation. I think we are children of God. We are followers of Christ. So your life should reflect that, you know, by your choices. Now, that doesn't mean perfection. I'm not trying to say that, because we all make mistakes. But our rule book and the game plan, the goal, is to follow what's laid out in the Word. And so in making this record, I wanted to take a Christian view of the world, biblical worldview, and wrap it in stories and everyday language. I think sometimes the church gets guilty, I have been guilty of wrapping things in a vernacular that only church people understand. And so I think the power of truth and a light and salt, you know, all those analogies we find from the Word, is most powerful when actually in the marketplace. But you find most Christian music, gospel music, only has a life in the church.
Yeah.
And so to me, my dad was an outreach-oriented individual, always winning souls. I have a real impetus to see truth sown into the marketplace, and then as it works in someone's life, they'll ask questions about it.
What I sense from you is that music is neutral. It's not Christian. It's not non-Christian. You happen to be a Christian who sings.
Exactly.
Right. And I think that's the stance. I've always believed that any creative impetus ultimately has its source in the image of God in which you've been created, right?
Absolutely.
And I sometimes listen to some beautiful secular music, and my heart just swells, and I say to my wife or my kids, "Man, God is happy with this." I mean, because it just expresses His perspective. We got about a minute left, Guy, before you sing your next song. What's next for you?
Well, we're kicking this record out right now and touring and, you know, exposing the new music to people, having great reception. My first go-round is mostly Gaither people who have come to Gaither concerts in the past. So I'm casting vision to them. It's a room full of believers, you know, and I'm just casting vision, saying I want to sow something into the marketplace. I want to sow truth out there and lift it up. Esteem marriage, esteem family, esteem, you know,
was very impressed
Father.
in the material I read about you that when you're home, you're homeschooling all these kids.
My wife is.
Your wife is.
Yeah,
God bless her.
yeah.
You sit around the table
Saint.
three times a day and eat together and just kind of jockey for seats and enjoy
We
each
do.
other's company.
It's a fight at our table.
You refer to your family as a full-time party. I mean,
It is.
It's just terrific.